Hi, everyone. Welcome to our presentation, Masters of Motion, Snakes and Crocodiles. I'm Abby.
I'm Michelle. And I'm so
All right, to get us started, how old are crocodiles and snakes? They're really old, and they used to look pretty different. Take a second and look at these two drawings. One is the early ancestor of crocodiles, and one is the early ancestor of snakes. See if you can figure out which one is which. The earliest snakes, like Tetrapods here, which means four-footed snake in Greek, were actually lizards, and they had arms and legs. As you can see later, this is not the case for modern snakes. These animals first appeared during the late Cretaceous, which was 100 million years ago, which is around the same time as the Ankylosaurus for any of my dinosaur fans. The earliest crocodiles, like the Sphinxukian in this picture, were really small and slender, and they had long, tall, skinny legs that are totally different than the squat legs of crocodiles today. These guys first appeared during the late Triassic, which was over 200 million years ago. A lot of the very first dinosaurs also appeared during the late Triassic, just to give you a sense of how old crocodiles really are. As snakes evolved, they lost their arms and legs, and they got much longer. This evolution that snakes underwent allowed them to become masters at swimming, slithering, and even climbing and jumping in their own very special snake way. As crocodiles evolved, they also got much bigger and gained a very helpful adaptation. While early crocodiles were terrestrial, or land dwellers, over time, crocodiles evolved the ability to swim. And as long as they kept just their nostrils above the water, they can keep their mouths open below the water, making them very efficient swimmers.
Our presentation will focus on comparing the axial skeleton of crocodiles versus snakes. Now, what is an axial skeleton? It is exactly what it sounds like. It is the main part of the skeleton, which is going to be the skull or head, the thoracic cage, or the rib cage, where the ribs are, and the vertebral column, or the backbone, the part of the body that helps a reptile bend and move. This skeleton helps support the structure of the body and protects its organs. Now, here are some pictures of what the axial skeleton looks like for the crocodile and snake. For the crocodile skull, it is strong, rigid, and elongated, designed for better biting with sharp teeth and large jaw muscles. Their skulls also have large orbits or eye sockets and cranial ridges, which help their vision and muscle attachments for a strong bite. For the snake skull, it is loosely connected and making the skull lightweight and flexible, and also having a highly kinetic jaw, which means that their top and bottom jaw bones are not fused together, letting snakes open their mouths really big to swallow their food. For the crocodile backbone, it is made up of a lot of parts, but I will help break it down. It is made up of the cervical neck vertebrae, which supports head movement, the thoracic upper back vertebrae, which connects the ribs and supports the body structure, the lumbar lower back vertebrae, which also supports movement, the sacral hip vertebrae, which is highly elongated and flexible, helping with swimming and balance, and the caudal tail vertebrae, which provides stability and keeps from too much twisting. The caudal or tail vertebrae are especially important since it's long and flexible, which helps with swimming. For the snake backbone, it is a little more simplified. It is very long since snakes have a high number of vertebrae, helping them with flexibility. Snakes usually have between 200 and 400 of these, which is more than most animals with skeletons. There are also two types of these vertebrae. The precaudal vertebrae, which are the ones with ribs that form the main body structure, and the caudal vertebrae, which are the areas without ribs that make up the tail. We then have the crocodile ribcage, which protects the heart and lungs. With bony plates called gastrilla in the belly for extra support, these gastrilla are abdominal ribs and a set of bones in the belly that provide extra support but are not attached to the spine. The thoracic ribs are attached to these vertebrae, forming a sturdy ribcage to protect internal organs. This whole structure is flexible but very strong, which lets crocodiles have strong, well-controlled breaths when diving. And finally, the snake ribs. Each precaudal vertebrae have a pair of ribs extending along the entire length of the body. Unlike mammals, snakes do not have a sternum or an encasing rib cage. Instead, their ribs are free-floating or loosely connected with muscles, again helping them move.
Now that we know what the axial skeleton is, let's have a closer look at how the neck and rib cage help snakes and crocodiles move in different ways. Snakes have only a few true neck bones or cervical bones, but their spine is so long and flexible that it works like one giant neck. This helps them strike, twist while catching prey. Their backbone has special joints called zygopophis. This keeps it stable while being super bendy, which is exactly what they need for smooth and controlled movements. Crocodiles, on the other hand, have a stiffer neck, as they can't twist as much, but they are built for powerful and clamping jaws. So they lift their head and lunge forward, as the right image hand shows. And let's talk about their rib cage now. Without a chest bone holding the ribs in place in the snakes, their ribs across their whole body help them slither, twist around, and breathe all at the same time. Crocodiles, on the other hand, have a more rigid rib cage and have short and thick ribs. This helps them support their body weight, protect their organs, and control their breathing, especially while walking or diving underwater. Now let's look at reptiles in motions. Their tail or caudal region really helps them move in different ways. Both snakes and crocodiles have long tails made of repeating vertebrae, and underneath those bones, there are V-shaped structures called chevrons that help with muscle attachments to support their muscles while moving. They both move using a lateral undulation, moving side to side. As you can see on the left-hand side, there are snakes that swim in the water, and on land, they use rocks or an uneven ground to push off of and have balance and grip, and even while climbing. Crocodiles, also using that lateral undulation, but mostly while they're in water, have their thick and muscular paddle-like tail that helps them swim fast, especially while sneaking or escaping. On land, they're different. Crocodiles are the only reptiles, as you can see on the right-hand video, they can do a high walk, where their legs underneath their body, they can essentially gallop, which helps them with their strong and spine rib cage to move fast while catching prey.
Now it's time for some questions. Which of the following do scientists think snakes evolved from? Is it going to be birds, fish, lizard-like reptiles, or amphibians? You can take a second to pause if you need, but the answer is lizard-like reptiles. All right, what makes snakes so flexible compared to other reptiles? Do they have a long backbone with a lot of vertebrae, a rubbery skeleton with cartilage, a short spine, or strong arm and leg bones? If you said a long backbone with a lot of vertebrae, you'd be correct. And then finally, what part of the crocodile is most important for their ability to swim fast? Is it front legs, a spine, their head, or their tail? And if you said their tail, you would be correct. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching our video. We hope you had as much fun listening as we did making this.